spiritual way of thinking. Like I said, all of us come to this earth with purpose. Because of this purpose, God gives you certain passion. Associated with this passion, God puts some talent, your unique personality, also give you a lot of resource, so you can use them. So whenever you face a career bottleneck, you need to think, it is God put something in front of me. God wants us to, by trusting God, find a way to overcome this obstacle. Then our talent will be well used. Then we know more about how should we do, and also we know more about God's calling on us. So in a way, I like to use this way to start my talk. So even though talking about business, but it does have a spiritual meaning and behind it. So first, let me introduce myself. I have 40 years experience. I started from a junior engineer, and then I moved. I did 6 years in engineering, then moved into management for 10 years, then general manager and president for 12 years. And also president. Then I started my own company, and I worked on my own company for 12 years. Then at the end, my company was sold to Alibaba, so that's why I am out of the business world. I'm full-time to do this society contributor role, is what I'm doing today. Okay. My first 20 years is in US or in semiconductor. The next 20 years in China or in telecom business. I have 3 fathers. One is father of Iran. Would anybody know about Andy Grove?
Yes.
Andy Grove gave me that. Okay. Second one is all of you, if you're using smartphone, if you have a Chinese feature, it all came from my teams develop all the Chinese feature for it. The third one is the Linux smartphone. I believe currently smartphone you either by using iOS or using Android, isn't it? Those are Linux. We did it more than 15 years ago. Then lastly, I graduated from National Charlton University, which they gave me outstanding alumni during that time. In terms of my faith testimony, in 1972, I went to Rutgers, studied for my master's degree. That's how I started Bible study. Since then, my wife and I just always serving in the church. Today, I'm doing a kingdom work. I don't confine myself within one local church. I'm across church, also across region to do my work. Because of my work, I also funded 2 nonprofit organizations, one in Asia, one in US. I'm very fortunate to be partnered with a lot of mission, business as mission and association. Currently, I'm also a board member for Ambassador for Christ. So what I'm doing in the last 3 years, just basically this chart, okay? And I consistently go to 6 different cities 3 times a year. Okay, I call those strategic cities because God wants me to influence whoever has influence. Those cities are the ones which I can find. Whenever I go to every city, I very consistently to do this 5 work. One is I always teaching business workshop, which we encourage non-Christian to come because we feel that's a good way to show them what Christian view about work and also the world. Then I also serve in the local church, just like what I do today. I also do disciple training for Christian. Disciple training from work standpoint instead of from Bible standpoint. Okay. Then I also conducting mentoring one-on-one. Every one-on-one is 50 minutes. So every year I'm conducting about 220 one-on-one. That's why I get very down to the earth information, which help my work. Also, as you know, the higher you go, the higher relationship. So really, I'm focusing on to whoever is also, and they confine with the same vision as me, then I will enable them, ask them to find younger generation. So I'm trying to have a 3 layer of this mission coming forward. Just like I said, I do a lot of one-on-one and mentoring. So today I will start from one of the mentoring I did about a year ago. One VP of the company, VP of technology, once come to see me, complain. He said, our company went through a reorganization. After the reorganization, all my company's product and service all being done with my responsibility. So all my company revenue generated from and my department's work. Recently, the company promoted several people, but I did not get promoted. So he asked me whether it is a discrimination. Then I said, okay, don't always use discrimination as a shield for your problem. According to what you told me in the last 10 minutes about how your company to do the organization, it seems that your company start to notice that you are losing your edge. Rather, your customers start to using other companies' product instead of yours. Then you will have several people start to look very closely to look for the reason why. Then you got a conclusion. From that conclusion, you have several people start to set up your company's new vision, mission, and strategy. After that, there are people, according to your mission and strategy, come up with a new organization and infrastructure plan. After the plan is done, then someone start to do the staffing to see currently who in our company is eligible, who is qualified to do this job. If a certain job is not filled, then you go outside to find. Then within this job, to be filled, there's one job called Director of Product Marketing. Then he wrote all the specification and feature of the company product. Then he handed to you the specification and feature. Then you, according to this plan, you're using your knowledge, you're also taking your people, work very hard to come up with a product and service. I said, actually, there are 2 types of skill. One is knowledge, another is skill. Knowledge is mean you can work in a certain environment. So you can solve a general problem. But skill is different. Skill is you'll be able, in an uncertain environment, you can find out what's the regularity. Then come up with a conclusion. Maybe you are right, maybe you are wrong. But there's an ability when you are in an uncertain situation. So what you say, I did all the work, but you ignore all the 5 processes. Like I say, figuring out the market shifting, then find the regularity, realign company for the new direction, create the associate organization and infrastructure, staffing and a personal decision, hire the right people. Then he handed something to you. So the first thing I want you to know in your work, if you can only work in a fixed environment by using your knowledge, probably your career cannot go too far. We are facing into 10x speed time. Change is coming. If you always want a fixed environment, you can solve a problem. Instead of being able to figure it out in an uncertain environment. These are 2 different totally skill sets. One is called knowledge and another called skill. In Chinese, one called 知识, another one called 本事. Understand the difference between the 2? That's what I told Joseph. I said, okay, if you still think that you want to go far, but you need to look at it objectively. That's come into next slide. Okay, next slide is I talked to a lot of people. Then looks like there's a stereotypes of Asian American work ability. People feel Asian Americans, they are very smart, we work very hard, very motivated, and also very strong domain knowledge. Do you agree with that? Okay, but come to next one, you may not disagree, you may not agree. They feel Asian Americans are very selfish. They learn knowledge very quickly, but that they're lacking of curiosity. I'm asking you, in order to do innovation, it called knowledge or it called curiosity? You did both. But if you only have knowledge, you can't invent too much. You must have curiosity. Also, lack of networking skill. Also, very weak communication skill. Also, lack business acumen. Just like this Joseph. He's very strong in their domain knowledge. He fit all 4. But he didn't even know that he needed this. So my conclusion, if you combine these 2 charts together, is we are all well taught in knowledge, but we are not innovative enough. Innovation is a skill, not a knowledge. We work very hard, but selfish and not a team player. We're very motivated to get things done, but we can only do things when we meet people. We are not influential enough to have people willing to listen to them. Okay? Due to weak communication skill. We are driven for get things done, but we are lack of people skill. We're strong in domain knowledge, very partial, but we lack of business acumen. We're not comprehensive. Oftentimes we're very cocky about our domain knowledge, but because of no networking, because of poor, weak communication, we've been viewed as a lack of credibility. Wow. Now, if you agree with this, please raise your hand. You may say, no. China becomes the number 2 world power in economics. How can you explain this? But if you carefully think about it, the reason why China has such quick economic growth is because China catch the last trend of information age. Someone is a driver over there, it's US. US continue to do innovation. China just a quick follower. I truly think China is facing a real economic tough time. Because if no one innovates in front, with this type of people, you can do 0 to 1 innovation. You can only do 1 to 2, 2 to 3. It's a quick follower. Okay, so that's the key point of my talk today. Now come into the reason why. Okay, I often tell people a species living in one-dimensional world, they don't know that the species living in the two-dimensional world, they can make a turn. Same thing as species walking in the two-dimensional world. Never know the species living in the third-dimensional world, they can jump. Oftentimes, we don't even know that's our problem. Here comes the reason why. What preoccupies our mind, making us not even understand our problem is the following. Our culture has been always telling us, go for the instant success. Don't go for your passion. We're focusing on the subject only relevant for a short-term success. Unfortunately, what information we got or our parents got, we all got the same information. So all of us are chasing for the same thing. That making us indifferent. Okay? So we continuously seek for instant success, basically worship money and power, rather than follow our passion. Passion is the most important thing. You need to learn skill and innovation. Passion means what you love to do, not what you can do. Only work on something you love to do when you're facing difficulty. You would do everything to solve it. But if you just do something you can do, maybe you're smart, you can learn something very well, but you never love what you do. Secondly, the same culture, us looking for instant success, is making us selfish. Always telling us, don't worry about other people. think about yourself. So making us not a team player. We never understand the value of teamwork, and we never understand the shared responsibility. That was implanted in our brain in our early age, making us indifferent. If you look at it, the business invented in China or Taiwan, in Hong Kong, they will copy you, you copy me, making everybody cutthroat business. That's why it's so difficult to make money. It's people saying. The Chinese people only know work hard, but they don't know how to make money. Even though we work very hard, but seeking instant success leads to loss of passion, and also we dismiss value of our teamwork. So that's the first thing, is our cultural issue. Second thing is our education. Our education continue looking for the knowledge transfer, always looking for the standard answer. Our test is always multiple choice, not discussion. In the class, you are not allowed to ask teacher question. So making us only understand everything very shallow. We really don't do deep thinking. Because of that, we lost our curiosity. The important things to have a curiosity is that you have to encourage yourself to do the original thinking and also to do critical reasoning. These are very important. When you were young, the kids are supposed to be encouraged to pursue their passion. Let them do what they like to do. The best is not only reading, is to work their hand with their brain together. That's how you learn skill. Skill and knowledge is different. Like I said, knowledge is what we learn everything. We learn physics, we learn chemistry, we learn Bible. It is all knowledge. Knowledge is very important. If you don't have knowledge, you don't even have a starting point. But the problem with knowledge is the more you study, the more you forget. I met a lot of people, they say, I'm bored. My CEO continued asking me to do the same thing for 10 years. Every time when I talk to them, say, I want to do some business, give me a job in business. He always told me to say, yeah, I think you can do that, but let me think about it. Every year went by, same thing. Why? Because they feel that you don't have business acumen. How can I move you into? So really, all of us need to know how to work with passion and also how to transform your knowledge into skill that you can have accomplished. I believe all of us want to move into this quadrant. Okay, so if I'm using the 6 conclusion matching into this, if you knowledgeable but not innovative, you even work hard, but if you are opportunist, then you are in this quadrant. Secondly, you're driven very hard for get things done, but if you don't have enough people skill, or you're driven very well, but you lack of a communication skill, then you're in this quadrant. You have a strong domain knowledge but lack of business, or you're very strong and knowledgeable, but you don't know how to do networking, if you don't know how to develop communication skill, then you are in the board. What really take is you need to be passionate to live a difference. Don't get me wrong, I don't mean in this ring, everyone is millionaire. They are so high in the business world. It is not. What I'm saying is, whoever, if you well develop your hidden talent, you're very happy at your work, you adhere. Because the Bible told us that God gave us what? There are people with 5,000 talent, also 2,000 talent, and 1,000 talent. I'm not talking to you, everyone needs to move into 5,000 talent. What I'm telling you is, if God gives you 2,000 talent, don't bury that. Like the Bible said, you need to use your talent to earn another 2,000 talent. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not saying I encourage you to looking for success, to make money, I'm not. I'm just telling you, you need to know what limits you so you can fulfill your dream by following your passion. Also learn how to transform from knowledge into skill by listening to your heart. Okay, this is my career, 40 years. Like I said, I have 6 years and also 12 years, or 10 years, 12 years, then then currently I'm doing this. Okay. If you think, this, it is not unnatural. I'm facing a lot of difficulty. I'm just down to the earth, I'm step by solving problems. I'm not a quick career boomer jumping from one into the other. I'm just one by one to do it. This is what I basically need to share with you. First of all, I'm telling you, I don't have a PhD degree, but I'm still doing a lot of technical accomplishment. I did not graduate from a top school like MIT, Stanford, Harvard. But I still have a lot of professional recognition. I never go to business school to study one day, but I'm managing a very successful semiconductor business, also a very successful telecom business. I also have my own startup company. So that's basically, I'm telling you, I'm not because of I'm especially smart, or I have early advantage. I never, within a company, the company CEO to say, oh, these are the couple one we want to really pay attention to. Those are our company's golden boy. I was never. But this is, very honestly, this is my accomplishment. This is where I believe makes some difference. I always pursue my passion. A lot of people think that the successful people is determined by their starting point. meaning their education, their credential. But if you truly looking into a successful people is someone seeking their dream. They're really seeking their passion. They don't particularly win at the starting point, but they win at a turning point. If you can imagine your career just like a race car track, within the race car track, there is a straight line time. Also, there's a turning point. Do you think a successful people is winning at the driving at the straight, or they are winning at a turning point? They're winning at a turning point. Because at a turning point, the true test of your ability. At a turning point, your credential, your experience doesn't matter. That's how you need to pay attention to. So I'm telling you, in your life, not all moments are the same. There are moments called defining moment. Defining moment is to redefine yourself. That's your racetrack turning point. But as a human being, all of us like to drive car in the straight line. We like to have our comfort zone. Once to our turning point, we tend to slow down. Instead of race fast, once you slow down, people surpass you. That's what I'm experiencing. So once if you're seeking passion, then you are pursuing your dream. By pursuing your dream, you can be original. You create under difficult circumstances. We all facing career difficulty. But if you are following your dream or passion, no matter what kind of difficulty, you will try to recover that. But if you're doing something you think you are forced to do, then you tend to ignore this point. That makes night and day difference. Seeking meaning. Like I said, all of us come to earth for a purpose, but God is preparing you for that purpose all your life long. Every turning point is God wants you to go to a different direction. Not the direction you want to go, but the direction God wants you to go. That's why when you seeking passion, you will find your meaning. The meaning doesn't mean wealth or something. Meaning means a peace of mind in your heart. So, okay, now I'm telling you just some example of how I pursue my passion. I told you I don't have a PhD degree, but second year in my graduate school, my department chairman very happy called me into his office. He said, Roger, your research got a grant. People donated a big portion of money, want us to continue to do this research. So we come up with scholarship for you. You can direct go to PhD without studying master. I told him right out. I said, no. I said, I don't want to study anymore. I want to go to work. Then he said, I think you just want to make more money. I say, maybe you're right. But I think truly, as in my heart, I keep on asking myself, I've been studying for 18 years. I don't know why I'm studying for. I need to go find out what the industry is. That's how I went. At that time, I believe 99% of students from outside the country, they would take this offer happily, go home, celebrate. But I say, no, it's not my heart telling me. When first job was in RCA, Radio Corporation of America, I made 3 internal transfer. Finally, I find my passion as a design engineer. A lot of people ask me, working in 5 years, he said, I've been, my boss transfer me there. I said, okay, did you ever tell your boss what you really like to do? He said, no. I said, do you know what you're really passionate to do? I don't know. So my first advice to you, when you get your work, if you don't like it, ask for internal transfer. Don't suffer. Okay, this is the second thing. My first job is starting from New Jersey. Then from New Jersey, I moved to Dallas, joining a startup company called Mostek. Then from there, I moved back into Austin. Then from Austin, I moved to West Coast to join Intel. Why? I always looking for the most advanced technology and most challenging and difficult design job. That's my passion. Why I moved to the management position? Maybe some of you say, Teacher Kong, maybe in your early college day, you already set your mind, said you want to be a president. I said, no, I never knew that. I never dreamed of, I don't even know what manager means. Why I moved into manager? Because I feel if I keep on in the technical role, my impact and the speed of helping my team is too slow. It's not my passion. I like to play basketball. When I'm in a basketball team, my concern is how can I help my team to win is the most important things for me. What is the most impactful way? What's the quickest way to do that? Is my passion. Because of that, I went for management, not because of glory, not because of I want to control people. Rather, that's the quickest way and most impactful way to helping my team. That's my passion. Why I moved into semiconductor, into telecom, moving from US into China, also was my passion. Also, many people say at that time, if you stay within Motorola, you will be next CEO for Motorola. But I told people say no. If I become CEO, I get very, very bored. Why? You see, you always need to deal with Wall Street. You always need to deal with government regulation. I'm more interested in doing real work. I'm more interested into how to turn the company around. I'm more interested always pursuing for the newest things to come. That's my passion. I'm not good at dealing with powerful people, powerful authority. That's just me. That's why I went to do a startup. Many people think that I'm crazy. And also, I retired. Many people think I'm crazy to come here to conduct this talk with you. But that's also my passion. See, I started marketplace ministry after retirement. I even set up 2 nonprofit organizations. I'm traveling 3 months in Asia, another 3 months in US to do this work. That's my passion. So if you ask me to say, Mr. Kong, you're pretty old, how much you can teach us? I'm not teaching you any new knowledge. I'm teaching you how to follow your heart. That's making you successful in your career. Understand? Then how to learn this, how to transform your knowledge into skill. A survivor become entrepreneurs, investor or leader. They prefer to be independent instead of always need to be associated with somebody. I'm telling you what true innovation means. Many people think innovation is born with. No. Innovation is come from continue to do a hard work and continue learning to solve difficult problems. That's how you innovate, to solve difficult problems. Like I said, this talk also has a spiritual. What's our destiny? Our destiny is basically, we need to understand passion is the combination of your unique personality, capability, resource, and opportunity given by God. God gave you this passion because this passion will lead you to your destiny. So once you face a career bottleneck, that's actually God is calling you to go find your passion. Once you find your passion, you'll eventually find me. Okay? Then, let me talk about how I transform from knowledge into a skill. In my first 6th year at work, I moved from junior engineer to senior engineer. There are 4 people helping me to move my career. At the end, I let you decide whether these people are helping me or these people are making me. First person I met is Henry. Okay? Again, in my 2nd years in graduate school, I'm a research assistant. I get paid every month by doing research. Then in one summer, all of a sudden I said, I'm studying engineering. I never understand how the factory worked. I learned a lot of theory. I can derive equation from equation, but I never know what a factory looks like. Then I went to my professor. I said, okay, in this summer, I won't do any research, so you don't have to pay me. I want to go to find a factory job to be a factory worker. So I went to South New Jersey. I found a factory job. Which job? This company is producing the steel plate in our washing machine. In our washing machine, there are plates with a hole in there, with water coming in. That's what we produce. Okay. But first thing when I went to work, My foreman, Henry, told me, he said, Roger, I'm sorry. The person is supposed to go. That's why we hired you. He decided not to go. So the job is gone. Of course, I was very disappointed. This is my first job. Then when he saw me, very disappointed. Then he said, okay, if you're here, just walk here. He gave me a tool to say, go clean up this area. Keep yourself busy. Then I'll come back to see you this afternoon. So at that time, I almost quit. You know, I have my pride, I have my ego. I said, I'm a graduate student. I just want to experience a factory. Now you don't even give me a job. Ask me to be a clean and, a cleaning job to do. But all of a sudden, then I switched my mind. I said, okay, to be a worker is an experienced factory. To do a cleaning job is also. Then I said, okay, since Henry said he will see me in the afternoon, so I just cleaned up this area. But in the afternoon, Henry did not come. Then I need to decide whether I should go or I should stay. Then I remembered what Henry told me. He said, keep yourself busy. I said, okay, then let me keep myself busy. I go find another place to clean up. He didn't come. For a week, I keep cleaning. I keep expanding my territory. Then, during the cleaning process, I cleaned into the office. Then I met a lot of people I never met before. Then someone tell Henry to say, hey, he's a Chinese guy company. He cleaned our company like never cleaned before. Then Henry said, oh my gosh, I forgot about Roger. Then he come to me and said, Roger, I'm sorry that I'm too busy. Okay, then he told me to say, okay, here's the deal. There's a most high-paid job is making the drill. He said there's a worker left. According to their union, they have a long list. But he said, I can make this executive decision because number one, we owe you something. Number two, people say you are very good. Then go to do that job. That's how I start to learn what. Every job I do, I never have a boundary. My boss tell me to say, you do this. When I finish this, I always expand my job to do more. To do what? To work with cross-functional team. That helped my career a lot. Second one is when I went to RCA as a product engineer. Then there's a design manager called Michael, came from England. He's probably the best technical people I ever met. He knew he's a design, but he knew testing better than any test engineer. He knew process better than any process people. But he's very cocky. So every problem he solved, but he always scoped on everyone. Of course, he also scoped on me. But since everyone else doesn't like to talk with him, I'm new, so he comes to talk to me all the time. But not friendly. He comes, Roger, okay, I'll give you a problem. And when I start to derive equation, he threw it away. He said, this is not school. This is an industry. We never derive equation. You have to solve problem right away. Of course, I don't know how to solve it. Then he said, how come you are a graduate student? You got a master's degree. How come you don't even know Ohm's law? And Ohm's law is what we learn at what? At the junior, at the junior year. So that's what made me very, very nervous. So for 2 weeks, every time he comes from the right, I escape from the left. I don't want to meet him because every time he gives me a tough question, after 2 weeks I start to realize, I say, when I come here, most important thing, I need to learn skill. If I learn skill other than him, who else is the best teacher? Then I say, okay, from now on, instead of having him to come to me, I go to him. So I go up to him. I say, Michael, okay, I'll discuss these things with you. But he's still very cocky, still, look down upon me, say that, okay. But at that time, I said, don't only just tell me, okay, you write it down. And when we become more acquainted, relationship does help. Then he started writing down. Then I bring the sheet back. That's the best knowledge I learned. Then I start to learn independent thinking ability. What's independent thinking? I found the time when he explained something to me, I know very well. 2 days later, when I explain the same thing to someone else, I can't explain well. That's what I call independent thinking. Why? Because the time when he explained to me, I'm following his train of thinking. Very logical. When he's gone, when I explain to someone else, I need to use my own thinking. I never think the way like he thinks. That's what I learn every time when I talk to whoever give me very good information. I quickly go to my office. I write everything down, one by one by one. That trained me critical thinking. That trained me original thinking. Otherwise, I can always. Then I found out that actually our eyes, our ear, can cheat our brain. Everything you listen to, you think you fully understand, but actually you don't. Try to write them down. When you write them down, you truly understand all that. So that's called independent thinking ability. That's how I moved from New Jersey into Dallas to learn the most advanced technology called MOS. He came from Bell Lab. He taught me things very well, but every day he can only spend half hour on me. So my learning curve only half hour. Then I start to figure out. I say, okay, if Dennis is willing to help me, I need to really make the most out of it. Then I went to Dennis. I said, Dennis, can we do this? You do all the design. I help you to code your design into a computer simulation. He said, fine, good. Then I have a lot of things to learn. He and I work independently now. Once I learn how one chip is fully functional, I start to go talk to the testing engineer. I say, how should I test my circuit to test my chip easily? Tell me where should I put a testing point that you can test my chip. Then I went to a factory. I said, how can I design my chip to make you the lowest cost and the quickest ramp? And I went to a quality engineer. But then how should I design my circuit? Can make you one time to pass your quality. I went talk to the marketing. I said, you talking to customer, how should I design more feature that the customer really wants? Don't get me wrong. If I go ask them to say, teach me how to do testing, teach me how to do, nobody will teach me. You need to understand how I ask questions. I said, how should I do my design to making your job more easier? Then he will open up. That's how I find my career breaking point. Okay, lastly, Jerry. I went to Motorola to learn DRAM design. Jerry was my boss. But he designed a chip they can't put into manufacturing. Design say it's a manufacturing say design. Then I using what I learned from the computer simulation. I found out that Jerry made a mistake. That helped Motorola to solve this problem, making a lot of money. That made me an enemy to Jerry. Later on, they teamed us up to design next generation 64-key DRAM. We worked for 9 months. We probably only spoke for 10 times. He said, Roger, I designed the front end, you designed the back end. Because he didn't talk to me, he didn't teach me. He forced me to do design work by myself. That made me a top-notch designer. So really, if you think about it, who is really my career mover? So there are 3. One is forget about me. One is always look down upon me. One is doesn't want to talk to me. Only Dennis is the one is friendly to me. So that's what I'm telling you. You need to learn a skill. When you meet difficult situation, how to turn the difficult situation become a beneficial situation for you. When you have a good luck, how not to waste this good luck. That making the luck return 5 to 10 folds to your career. That's how I learn my knowledge into skill. So really, my whole career can be classified with this chart. Of course, I have to start it from a starting point, which I had master's degree. Then I got a job. In my 6th year in engineering, I'm facing a lot of obstacles, like I said earlier. But every time when I'm facing obstacles, I always follow in my heart. I said, what's my passion? Even the passion made me scared. That's how I find okay. Then once I go through a defined moment, I always using this torsion 5 force. It's basically the book I wrote is talking about these 5 force. Those are the potential within us that we need to explore in order to. Then you find out that you're not only finishing your current job, also your career move out several times. That's how, okay. But once when I finish my engineering, when I become of manager, I found even more dilemma in my. Then I'm using the same thing every time. Then I always exercise this. I always learn how to listen to my heart instead of listening to my head. So when I become president and also start a company, I'm using the same thing. So that's why I'm teaching you what's called defining moment. We all like comfortable zone, but life will come a defining moment. If every defining moment you're using your head to do a decision, you not only fail at this time, you also will fail several times until you meet another defining moment. Same thing, if you find the same defining moment, if you're using your ability to solve the problem, follow your heart, you will find a success, then more success until you find the next defining moment. So that's basically how I see my life. How I solving obstacles one by one. Then what are these 5 forces? Once you're facing obstacle, you always, your head need to see a direction. It's called envision. You need to find a way how to weigh out. Think hard. Once you get that direction, you need to encourage yourself, encourage your team to follow this direction. Only have people is not enough. You also need to get your task into small pieces, how to do piece by piece to do it well. Then once you're facing difficulty, you need to be courageous to solve the problem. At the end, you need to have effort, to have trusting, that people trust you. So in my experience, dealing with people, how to solve problem, is called management. What is a leader does? Leader managing change. Change what? Change the direction. Change what's coming to you. So envision is the ability to set new direction, articulate a shared and a reachable vision, and realizing them by leading people. All of us want to confront our future. That's done by envision. Secondly, how to lead people well is energize. The ability to motivate yourself and your team. You need to attract good talent, energizing them. Let them wholeheartedly willing to do a job. Execute. You plan concrete and executable tasks and stick to it until it gets done. H is be courageous and knowledgeable, ability to transform any problem and opportunity. Like I told you, I have 4 situations. 3 is bad, 1 is good. Ethics, ability to inspire, principle-driven, and know how to compromise to stick to the moral. So this is basically integrity. So these are the 5 forces. So this is what I've done. Like I said, once I learn how one product fully functional well, then I find my career breaking point. Then I start to talk to testing people, talk to the quality people, talk to the factory people, talk to the marketing people. I don't mean you need to learn all their skills. You'll never be able to learn all their skills. But you need to learn what designer need to know about quality, what designer need to know about testing. How? Then let me tell you, if I have done that, if top level people say we need to find a manager to lead the whole team, who will be the best candidate? So I tell people, you need to do these things, making your boss to promote you very easy. He doesn't need to convince anybody because you are doing it. Then once you become manager, you say no. Before, I need to know a factory cost. Now I need to know a business gain and loss. That's how you explain your things. Even today, I'm out of the business world. I'm still paying attention to the worldwide economics, worldwide politics. What is life? What is finance? What is, cultural? That's a learning, never-ending learning process. That's making your life more vibrant. And also, of course, by doing this, it's your career expressway. I'm not only learning the thing, I'm using this 5 forces to learn. Okay. So, because of that, the reason I can stand in here to communicate with you is just because of all this combination. Like I told you, I have a success experience, I also have many failures. If I only have successful experience, I won't be able to communicate with you well. So this is I'll now come to the next topic. Okay. You may say, okay, Mr. Cohen, I'm also experienced the same culture, same education system. But I teach you, follow your passion. At your work, don't always listen to what the word tell you. You need to follow your heart. Okay. Same thing, how to learn skill from knowledge. You always need to overturn a bad situation into a good situation. How to overturn a good situation to become an excellent situation. That's you need to turn. Then, in the meantime, how to overcome our culture means you only need to watch for yourself. You are not a team player. Then this basically what next couple slides is how to build a positive motivation. Motivation is a central. It's not bad or good, depending on whether you are bad motivation or good motivation. We need motivation, otherwise we do work, have no passion. What is a good motivator? Is you need to have a sense of accomplishment. That's mean your career is your calling. Your work actually is to accomplish this. Byproduct is if you are accomplishing something, you always get wealth, stature, reputation, but you need to have a concept that you are steward. You are steward for God. These things belong to God. Negative motivations always seeking for sensation and the rewards of success. So you're always opportunist. You always find the quickest way. That's why you get your anxiety. You also have a lack. If you have this, you won't be able to build a good relationship with other people. You won't be able to communicate with other people. How to do a good communication skill. Oftentimes, because when we engage a conversation with others, with our selfish, with our instant success, our intention is I always want to have you to follow my way. That's why I always need to let you know I'm better than you. I need you to recognize how good I am. That's why when I tell you, you will listen to me. Without knowing that, if you want people to accept your idea, people have to first accept you. how people accept you by you being respect to other people. Because of that, you need to listen more and talk less. You need to learn how to listen actively and constructively. That's why God gave us 2 ears, only 1 mouth. Want us to listen more. That's truly how to do communication skill. All of us may think that a good communication skills, you need to talk more. When you talk more, people will listen. No. People only listen to you if they feel they've been respected. Then they start to accept you. By accepting you, they accept your idea. So that's what we need to learn. Then how to build networking is a relationship. Relationship is everything in terms of getting the job done. There are studies show that human beings, in a snap second dealing with someone, they form an impression on you on 3 things. Are you likable? Are you competent? Are you trustworthy? But for us, when we build relationship with other people, the first thing we think is that you have to think that how good I am. That's why I aggressively tell you, then let people think that, what's your intention by telling me how good you are? Are you trying to control me? So the first thing in good communication is to let people to trust you. If people don't trust you, you're very competent, become a threat instead of a welcome. Understand? So that's very important. That's, from so people want to know what's your intention by communicating to you. Okay? Because of that, they will form whether I should admire you or I should feel you are a threat to me. That's very important. Okay? Okay, before how much time do we have? Almost time? Okay, so I skipped my next talk. My next talk really talking about when we get to a 10x speed time. Remember I said, consider your career as a racetrack. There are straight lines, there are turning point. What does it mean 10x? Doesn't mean our time is 10x faster. We still have a fixed amount of time, but rather within the fixed amount of time, we encounter change 10 times more than before. That means in your racetrack, you will find turning point 10 times more than before. Because of that, what I told you earlier is more relevant. You don't have time to return to the original point to learn knowledge. You have to solve the problem right at that point. Okay. And the whole book I wrote is talking about the skill, the 5 torsion force, and also when we facing the 10x speed era, how should we deal with it? Because of time, I stop here. Maybe I save this talk.
Well, next time.
If I come next time. Okay. So Elaine has some announcement to